So let me introduce these sweet people that go out of their way to put on these wonderful concerts, and we will have a wonderful concert here tonight. But let me introduce Jim and Bobby Jean Bell. Yeah!
Wow, that's such a surprise.
Why introduction, right? Are we performing or what?
we never get introduced.
Never.
Wow, that's really fun.
Thank you, sir.
You're
All
welcome.
the concerts and do
Oh,
that?
sure, no problem.
Well, welcome to the OutWest. The SCV TV presents the OutWest Concert Series. And, of course, I am Bobby Jean with Jim Bell.
Jim Bell. Yeah.
What is your name again?
They know what my name is. Well, Tom Hiatt and the Sundowners. So.
Tom, we're so happy to kick off our weekend of the Santa Clarita Cowboy Festival with a special performance of Tom Hiatt and the Sundown Riders. And if you are here for the weekend, come out and see us at the Buckaroo Bookshop, Santa Clarita Cowboy Festival. And we're so happy that you chose to be here tonight and enjoy this concert with this extraordinary group of musicians. Tom was just recently honored with the Academy of Western Artists Song of the Year for track Bronc to Breakfast.
Bronc to Breakfast. We're going to be doing that here today.
And I know that he'll be telling you about his fellow musicians here, so we're not going to waste another moment because we want to get the party on. So please help us welcome Tom Hiatt and the Sundown Riders.
1, 2, 3. Been a drifting cowboy nearly all of my days. Never thought I'd ever change my wandering ways. Never ever take a woman to be my wife. Gonna be a lone cowboy for the rest of my life. Met a green-eyed girl down San Diego way. Warm, soft body made me want to stay. But I said goodbye, and it was not too soon. One summer California night, neath an Appaloosa moon. Old Appaloosa moon hit a cloudy night sky. Light up my trail and your clouds drift by. I won't change my ways, I won't change my tune. Almost fell under her spell neath an Appaloosa moon. Didn't take too long for me to realize couldn't keep my thoughts away from those evergreen eyes. Oh, the glowing warmth of her gentle woman's touch. Never ever had a memory matter quite so much. Old Appaloosa moon in a cloudy night sky. Light up my trail as your clouds drift by. I might change my ways, I might change my tune. Might have fell under her spell neath an Appaloosa moon. Now every man has a choice to make when his trail divides. Which path should he take? Got a lonesome feeling that I can't deny. It won't let me be, and I know the reason why. She owns my heart now, what can I say? Gonna hit my pony back down the trail, San Diego way. Old Appaloosa moon in a cloudy night sky. Light up my trail as your clouds drift by. I'm gonna change my ways, I'm gonna change my tune. No, I fell under her spell with an Appaloosa moon. No, well, I fell under her spell with an Appaloosa moon. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. We've been trying to wrangle our schedules around to get in here for a long, long time, and we finally made it, and we're really glad to be here, Jim and Bubba Jean. You do such great promotion of our genre. We can't thank you guys enough for it. Can't thank you enough. And as I mentioned a little while ago there, I want to be a pitch man for these folks, these people tonight, you know. We want to see you folks carry some things out the store. We know there's some ladies here that belong to we boys. They already have made their contributions in a big way. Yeah. So she was kind enough to mention that I did win an award here in January. Flew down to Fort Worth, Texas to pick it up. And I didn't know I was going down to get it. I was keeping my fingers crossed, of course. The Academy of Western Artists awarded a song that I wrote some time back, and about a great Charlie Russell painting. I know we've got some Charlie Russell fans here tonight, right? Yeah. Well, Charlie loved this so much, this scene, he painted it 3 times. The first time he called it Bronc in a Cow Camp. The last time was Camp Cook's Troubles. But the second time he painted it is my favorite. You see a chuck wagon, and you see it's early morn. See the horses kind of back in the rope corral, and cowboys kind of scattered on the ground. Big cook fire. Cookie's got his big biscuit and beans here in the center. And then you look and you go, whoa, and there's a horse rearing right up out of the middle of the chuck fire, and this cowboy's trying to hang on. Yeah, well, that's a true story. Bob Thurlman was the man on that horse, and the range boss had to go somewhere and said, Bob, don't ride that horse. He always gets you in trouble. Don't ride him. Well, the range boss took off, and you know what happened, because Charlie painted it, and it's called Bronc to Breakfast. 1, 2, 3. Well, the stars are quickly fading. To the east, the dawn is breaking. Smell of breakfast cooking's in the wind. You roll up in bed with your Stetson on your head. It's time to earn your wages once again. Well, you wash your breakfast down, sitting cross-legged on the ground, with cowboy coffee that's hot, black and thick. Then you go and swing your loop. It settles like a big old hoop around the neck of a real bad one who's ornery, mean and quick. Well, he stands real quiet and still, his big eyes staring at you till you got your rig up on him and the cinches drawn up tight. Then you swing on up and straddle that old slick fork mean you saddle. Go exploding up to greet the morning light. You're taking a Bronc to breakfast, you'll need lots of luck. There's better ways to start your day and stampeding through your chuck. When horses talk war, there's small chance for peace. No chance for arbitration between man or beast. Well, old Pete's on the ground, and you almost run him down as you crash through the biscuits, beans, and fire. And it's right then you're wishing this morning you'd gone fishing, 'cause with every jump that cayuse takes, the next one's even higher. And old Cookie draws his knife, and he's to take your life if you don't remove that horse from his domain. And you scream, I'm doing my best, but it's anybody's guess how much longer in this saddle I can remain. You're taking a Bronc to breakfast, you'll need lots of luck. There's better ways to start your day and stampeding through your chuck. When horses talk war, there's small chance for peace. No chance for arbitration between man or beast. Must be me. Woo! With your horses screaming in rage, you go bouncing over the sage. You sigh and say, it's gonna be a long September. Well, one thing you know is true. When this fall roundup's through, this'll be one morning old Cookie and the boys sure gonna long remember. You're taking a brought to breakfast. You'll need lots of luck. There's better ways to start your day than stampeding through your chuck. When horses talk war, there's small chance for peace. No chance for arbitration between man or beast. No chance for arbitration between man or beast. Woohoo! Yeah. I was so far, something just went. Yeah. This next tune, Marvin Odell and myself wrote this, and it was written for a stage play. Buck Montgomery from over in Phoenix, Arizona, put on a festival, and on a Saturday night, he wanted to do a Saturday night show, and he thought, we're going to recreate the number 10 Saloon in Deadwood. So that's what we did. Went over to Anthem over in North Phoenix. They had a brand new high school auditorium and all these special effects. It was just great. So we set a saloon up on this stage. And we had the tables and the bar across the back, and it was dimly lit. And then it was kind of like a variety show for most of the evening, because we had Pistol Packin' Paula. She came up, and boy, she was twirling her guns around, and that was great. And then Sourdough Slim wandered into town, and his, his harmonica and his accordion. Yeah, what a great time. And then Dave Bourne was sitting there tinkling on the piano. I mean, it felt like you were really in the number 10 Saloon, huh? Yeah, you all know. Bill Barwick came out, and boy, he let us have it, and we were having a great time. And then during after one of the acts was over, and the lights were down, this figure came out of the dark, and most people probably didn't even see him. And he came over to one of these long-haired guys sitting at the table, pulled out a gun and shot this guy right in the back of the head, and the flames leaped out of that gun about that far. Now, we had never rehearsed that in the dark. We had never rehearsed the guy firing the gun. And all of us were like, whoa! And because that guy goes, wham, and falls down across that table. And this was the number 10 Saloon in Deadwood. And that is where Wild Bill Hickok was assassinated. And so the guy runs out, and everybody's yelling, and catch that guy, and everybody, stand back, you know. And the saloon owner walks over, and he picks up the cards and goes, whoa, aces and eights, a dead man's hand. And that's where that came from. Well, I had been sitting over on the side, and I stepped up on the side of the stage, still in the dark, and the spotlight was like over here, and I started singing this song. And I don't think I've had more of an electric feeling in doing this for 40 years now than that night, because everybody's heads were kind of over there, and then when the spotlight hit me and I started this song, I could see all the heads just kind of swing toward me, and their mouths were still hanging. It was dead silence, because everybody had been having a good old time, you know, and then whoa. No one really knows why they called him Wild Bill. Ladies said to catch a glimpse of him was quite a thrill. With his long blonde hair, ruffled shirts, standing 6'2", dashing handsome figure of a man, eyes of cold steel blue. In 1865, the West was wild and tame and free. Every mother's son could use a gun, brother, so could he. And a town square bill was called out by a gambler named Dave Tutt. Fired and missed, Bill's aim was true, the gambler never got up. But Wild Bill should have played his last hand with his back against the wall. Shot from behind by that rotten scoundrel Jack McCall. Bill's ivory-handled Colts are silent as they hang there in the hall. Wild Bill should have played his last hand with his back against the wall. Bill tased Haines City, Kansas in 1869. When the place became too quiet for him, Bill decided he'd resign. Got on his horse and rode off to the town of Abilene. Them shooting cowboys made it the worst he'd ever seen. I tell you boys, it ain't easy trying to enforce the law, when there's always someone thinking he's good enough to beat your draw. Bill Coe and Bill stood face to face. Bill left this world too soon when Bill shot him down that night outside the Alamo Saloon. But while Bill should have played his last hand with his back against the wall, shot from behind by that rotten scoundrel Jack McCall, Bill's ivory-handled Colts are silent as they hang there in the hall. While Bill should have played his last hand with his back against the wall. Deadwood in '76, in the Black Hills of Dakota, you could always find a game of cards or a pretty gal to hold you. One hot August day, Bill strolled into the number 10 saloon, sat in on a game of cards in the center of the room. Bill never played a game of cards with his back turned toward the door, but there was only one chair empty when he moseyed across that floor. Bill's luck was running bad until he drew 2 aces and 2 eights. If his luck was finally changing, it was changing way too late. But while Bill should have played his last hand with his back against the wall, shot from behind by that rotten scoundrel Jack McCall, Bill's ivory-handled Colts are silent as they hang there on the wall. While Bill should have played his last hand with his back against the wall. Hickok should have played that last hand with his back against the wall. Thank you. I called the gentleman that wrote this song, and he couldn't make it over here tonight. But Art and Alton and Sharon Corey, some folks that live over here near Altadena, wrote this next song. And they've got a relative who was a rancher, and it's really hard to maintain a family ranch these days. When you're struggling and some developer comes in and offers you a few $1 million, you know, and you're struggling just to pay your electric bill, that's pretty hard to turn down, even though you realize there might be 3 or 4 generations that grew up on this ranch. So you can understand why that happens. You don't like to see it happen. This is a song about that situation. It's called Grandpa, Run Cheyenne. There's a lonesome cowboy riding on the dark Montana range. His sun is declining as all the seasons change. His grandpa used to ride this land on a big horse called Cheyenne, but the cowboy knows them bygone days are blown away like grains of sand. There once were spirit voices that echoed through these hills, sang of warriors, buffalo, but now their song is still. The cowboy hears a distant call, a cold and empty whine. Out on the plains, it's just the voice of a giant steel combine. But when Grandpa let old Cheyenne run, he swore that horse could fly. Back when the open prairie was endless as the sky. The cowboy looks across the range where once the big horse ran, and tonight once more he'd love to see his grandpa run Cheyenne. Grandpa run Cheyenne. There's a haunted line shack waiting once he gathers in them strays. He'll think of long forgotten cowboys who passed their nights this way, and the ranchers that he used to know had to sell out long ago to companies that subdivide and strip the land for coal. But when Grandpa let old Cheyenne run, he swore that moose could fly. Back when the open prairie was endless as the sky, the cowboy looks across the range where once the big horse ran, and tonight once more he'd love to see Grandpa run Cheyenne, Grandpa run Cheyenne. There's a lonesome cowboy riding on the dark Montana range. His sun is declining as all the seasons change. But the cowboy knows he'll never let go of his favorite memory. A white-haired old man on a big old horse when the West was wild and free. And when Grandpa let old Cheyenne run, he swore that horse could fly. Back when the open prairie was endless as the sky, the cowboy looks across the range where once the big horse ran. Tonight once more he'd love to see his Grandpa run Cheyenne, Grandpa run Cheyenne. Cheyenne, Grandpa run Cheyenne. All right. Thank you. Now on the CD, Bobby's going, now Tom, what about that banjo fiddle thing that's right there? It goes double time and well, we'll forgo that tonight. Is that okay?
It's on the CD?
It's on the CD, yes. It's on the CD.
Different experience.
And don't encourage him.
You get to hear Dennis Kaplinger play the banjo and the fiddle at the same time.
That's hard to do.
And that's real hard to do. But we all know Dennis. What a whiz bang.
Couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah, couldn't make it tonight. Marvin kind of put this thing together. Then I kind of took it and kind of spiced it up a little bit. And, honey, you want to be the cheerleader on this? Just stand over there between the cameras. You can watch Lori. She'll cue you because you have a part to do in this song. Okay?
This is a shout-along.
This is a shout-along, yes. And when you're out there on the trail and it's raining, you have nowhere to go if you're in open country. Cookie calls you in. You step down off your horse. You get your biscuits and your beans, those hot, warm Dutch oven biscuits. And you step right into a torrential downpour because Cookie won't let you stay under that little fly because that's for his cooking, okay? So what do? There's not a tree within, 50 miles. It's open prairie. You either just stand there and eat as quick as you can and watch your plate fill up with water. I've seen one picture of a guy sitting under his horse. The horse is looking down like, I don't know if I like this or not, but the guy's still, he's looking down and the water's running right down into his plate. It's the good life. Well, that's what happens when those good, warm Dutch oven biscuits turn to goo in your fingers. Wet biscuits? Whoa, no! Wet biscuits! Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We've been pushing these cows till we're about to fall out of our saddles and are making us sore. Can't get no sleep on this rough, hard ground. Don't think I can take much more. We're getting close to Dodge City and the end of the trail. This is one cowboy who ain't sad. 3 weary long months since I seen my darling. I really need to hold him back. It's been tough cowboys and rough riding and hard leather and deeper rivers and rank broncs just wanna buck you off. And it's been stubborn cattle and dust devils and rainy weather and wet biscuits. And I really needing to feel something warm and soft. You got it. The herd stampeded to water when they smelled Red River. It took them all night to unwind. For a while there I thought we had lost Odie, but he wandered in the next night. He was dazed from a bad fall that he had taken. He never did find that roan horse. All he allowed is how he thought that for a minute his life had about run its course. And he's been tough cowboys and rougher riding and hard leather and deeper rivers and rank broncs who just wanna buck you off. And it's been stubborn cattle and dust devils and rainy weather and
Wet biscuits!
and I'm really needing to feel something warm and soft. I love this being a cowboy, but riding night guard at times out there all alone. Started thinking about that pretty young thing waiting for me back home. Well, I can feel her arms start to slip around me, smell her perfume in the air. Then it's all I can do not to ride away to her and those waddies all alone out there. 'Cause it's been tough cowboys and rougher riding and hard leather and deeper rivers and rank broncs that just won't buck you off. And it's been stubborn cattle and dust devils and rainy weather and
Wet biscuits!
and I'm really needing to feel something warm and soft. Oh, I'm really needing to feel something warm and soft. Woo! Warm and soft, yeah! Yeah. This was the opening cut off of a CD that was on the WMA charts for like ever. It must have been on there for a year or more. 4 quarters, 5 quarters, 6 quarters. Silver Screen Cowboy Project. This was the opening cut off that CD. And Marvin didn't want anybody to push him off the charts, of course. Nobody wants that happening. But he was thrilled when My Appaloosa Moon pushed it off the charts, because Marvin's singing on Appaloosa Moon, too. And he's got some cuts on there, so he couldn't be happier. And you still have copies of Silver Screen Cowboy?
They were all out.
They're all over there.
They're
Well, I got a surprise for you. I brought some private cuttings, slightly different versions of those songs, along with me tonight. I've only got about 6 copies, and these are rare. I don't release these. I sell them once in a while from the stage when it's appropriate, and I think tonight's appropriate. So we've got about 6 copies of Rough Riding Cowboy Heroes, the recut with this group you see standing right here tonight. Yes, yeah. So come up and see me. I've only got 6 of them, and we're gonna do you a couple, 2 or 3 cuts here real quick off of that CD. We've recut, obviously, the song that's quoted in that wonderful book. What a book! Wow. This is called Rough Riding Cowboy Heroes. Peter. Well, I remember all the Western movies I saw when I was just a lad. The good guy was the hero, the villain was always bad. Everyone would know at the start of the show how the movie was gonna end. The bad guy was gonna lose the fight, the good guy was gonna win. Times have really changed since then. I saw a movie last Saturday night. The good guy was on the losing end, the bad guy won the fight. This old world keeps on a-changing. Some think it's gone too far. Who we need today to show us the way are those silver screen cowboy stars. and those rough riding cowboy heroes who taught us wrong from right, rode with us through hot summer days and filled up with dreams each night. So grab your hat and saddle your horse, let the show begin. Put those rough riding cowboy heroes back in the saddle again. Woo! Well, I remember hopping Jeannie and Roy, chasing bad guys over the plains, on Hopper, Champ, and Trigger too, galloping over the range. Rocky and Rex, Gabby and Tex, Johnny Mac, Lash, and Wild Bill. The time is right for their return. You know that we need them still. And those are rough riding cowboy heroes who taught us wrong from right, rode with us through hot summer days, filled up the dreams each night. So grab your hat and saddle your horse and let the show begin. Put those rough riding cowboy heroes back in the saddle again. So grab your hat and saddle your horse and let the show begin. Put those rough riding cowboy heroes back in the saddle again. Take it out, Flash. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, get those rough riding cowboy heroes. And I imagine most of you have heard this song at least a couple of times. 1, 2, 3. Well, it's 2 eggs up on a whiskey toast, home fries on the side. Wash her down with the roadhouse coffee, burns up your inside. Just a can Colorado diner, waitress-sided love, sat in the back neath the no-stuff bear in a worn-out Navajo rug. Now old Jack the boss, he left at 6, then it's Katie barred the door. She pulled down that Navajo rug, spread it across the floor. Hey, I saw a lightning cross the sacred mountain, saw the woven turtle dove as I was lying next to Katie on that old Navajo rug. Aye, 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 Katie, shades red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug and you? Katie, shades red and blue. Well, I saw old Jack about a year ago. He said his place burned to the ground, and all he had saved was an old bear tooth. Katie, she'd left town. Ah, but Katie, she got her souvenir too. Jack's fat tobacco love. Shut up, seen her coming through the smoke, dragging that Navajo rug. Aye, 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 Katie, shades red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug and you? Katie, shades red and blue. Now every time I cross the sacred mountains, lightning breaks above. It always takes me back in time in the long lost Katie love. And everything keeps on moving, everybody's on the go, and you don't find things that last anymore like a double woven Navajo. Aye, 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 Katie, shades red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug and you? Katie, shades red and blue. Aye, 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 Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug and you? Yeah. Ian Tyson. Ian Tyson.
We got to do it.
We got to do it? Okay, we got to do it. Okay, I was getting ready to skip this, but there's one other movie location that we all love. And that's the cops. They're telling us, what's going on down there? Shut that thing off. We got to do this. It's one of our favorite tunes. And how many have been up to the Alabama Hills in Lone Pine? Been up there? Yeah, okay. Well, we've written a tribute to Lone Pine, our other favorite movie location. And as you all know, 2/3 of the Hopalong Cassidys were shot there. Gene Autry's, Roy Rogers, Randolph Scott's, Tim Holtz, Rex Allen, the big Hollywood blockbusters like Gunga Din and Lives of a Bengal Lancer and King of the Khyber Rifles, and that great big, the latest big hit that was up there was Iron Man. That whole ambush scene in the front of Iron Man was right there at the foot of Mount Whitney. It wasn't Afghanistan. They had you fooled, didn't they? Yeah. But those big round rocks, that boulder field that they call the Alabama Hills, it's just, there's been some fantastic movies.
Tom, you forgot a movie.
No, Bruce, I did not forget.
One of the greatest films ever made.
I didn't.
Won an Oscar, man. Ah,
I didn't forget it, Bruce. He does this to me every time. I try to skip on by this song, this movie.
it had Reba McEntire in it, so.
Yeah,
it's gotta
Reba
be.
McEntire.
And what's the name?
Kevin Bacon.
What's the
Kevin
name?
Bacon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is it, Bruce?
Anybody know
Tell
what it
him.
is? It's Tremors.
Tremors.
Ah.
Tremors. The big worms
One and
underground.
two.
You know, did you see that, Marilyn? No, I didn't think you had. No, these big worms that crawl around and come up and grab people. Well, in the Lone Pine Film Museum, if you go, I'm going to warn you about this, Marilyn. If you go around way to the back corner, they got like a little dungeon back there. And if you walk in there, they have 2 of those worm creatures in that hole back there. And there's this one big round one, and it says, "Do not touch." Bruce ran up and hugged it. Yeah. Oh.
We're
And they got
trying to
this.
figure out a way to lift Tom up and put him in upside down, but just his naked leg and his cowboy boots sticking up.
And they got one. It got one of the smaller ones too. And he got my foot. Got it. Yeah, caught. Well, anyway, don't go in that back corner. No. Okay.
Religious experience.
Yeah. Religious experience. Yeah. All right. So here's our tribute to those wonderful Alabama hills. Won't you bury me in those Alabama hills? Russell was a cowboy from the White Owens Valley. Started on a lowly cowboy's wage. Owned a couple of 100 acres that he worked for 50 years with a different kind of rider of the sage. Down in a grassy coulee, he let his pony graze, rested there to contemplate his age. Won't you bury me in those Alabama hills? Lay me down with all my memories, and just bury me neath the boulders and the sage. Let my spirit ride with Hoppy, Roy, and Gene, chasing outlaws through a western movie scene. He gazed upon those mountain peaks and the blue Sierra skies as the shadow galloped across the valley wide. And he thought about old Lone Pine and the day he watched John Wayne rein in a stagecoach on a breakneck ride. And he smiled as he remembered Hoppy faced the outlaw man with the crew of the Bar 20 by his side. Won't you bury me in those Alabama hills? Lay me down with all my memories, just bury me neath the boulders and the sage. Let my spirit ride with Hoppy, Roy, and Gene, chasing outlaws through a western movie scene. Well, he steps back in the saddle. Up the Stardust Trail he rides, Who are those other cowboys at his side? Won't you bury me in those Alabama hills? Lay me down with all my memories. Just bury me beneath the boulders and the sedge. Let my spirit ride with Hoppy, Roy, and Jean, chasing outlaws through a western movie scene. Chasing outlaws through a western movie scene. Won't you bury me in those Alabama hills? All righty, yeah, Alabama hills. All righty, let's finish it up, boys.
Okay.
Well, we certainly want to thank all you folks for coming out tonight. I guess Bobby Jean just couldn't handle it any longer. Yeah. Probably business about tomorrow.
Sleeping back there.
Yeah. But once again, I want to introduce the men up here with me. Over here on my left, playing the bass, singing the lower harmony here with you tonight.
The big bottom.
Yeah, the big bottom. My good buddy, Bruce Trimmers. Huntington, right there, yeah. And, of course, over here on the right, the one, the only, Ken, the Flash Wilcox. He's flashing you. Oh, no. Thank you. A big thank you to Jim and Bobby Jean. Yay! For having us here tonight. This has been wonderful. And let's give a big welcome, boys. Thank you to that great audience right there. What do you say? Yes.
Turn it out.
Great audience.
Even you, Roger.
Oh, yeah. Everybody. Peter, thank you very much, buddy. Can't thank you enough. Be sure and pick up some copies of Peter's book. He's right here. We'll sign them for you. And we're going to finish off with our new latest shout along. You got to join in with us on Wet Biscuits, right? Okay. Well, we have a new one. There are two words that all of us need to hear, probably more than once in our lives. When you get feeling down, you get feeling dejected, rejected, ejected, you know, it's just, you need to hear these two words.
Payday.
Chow down.
Well, payday's one word, Bruce, but that's okay. He's a bass player, you know. No, the two words you need to hear are Cowboy Up, okay? You'll hear that roll around in the chorus. Cowboy Up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you're riding in the finals on Saturday night, drawing a good bull and things are looking right. They open the gate, you're out of the chute. Starts going wrong when you lose that boot. He pile drives you down into the dirt. Before you can move, he rips off your shirt. Looking straight up, he's coming straight down. He's won the points in this go-round. Woo! Oh, you're broken, busted, hurt near dead, feeling like a bull's dancing on your head. You got better to do than lay there and bleed. A little encouragement is all you'll need. So if you're old as Methuselah or just a young pup, get back in your saddle and cowboy up! Rope on a calf, running left of a tree. Your horse is running right and you can plainly see wreck is coming. No surprise as a tree limb hits you right between the eyes. Face down in a patch, a prickly pear with a mad mama cow standing over you there. Ooh. Oh, you're broken, busted, hurt near dead, feeling like a bull's dancing on your head. You got better to do than lay there and bleed. A little encouragement is all you'll need. So if you're old as Methuselah or just a young pup, get back in your saddle and cowboy up! dream last night I'd passed on to the cowboy heaven in the great beyond. Everything was peaceful, riding old blue, till he seen them angels and he come unglued. I knew then and there I'd met my fate as I crashed head first into a pearly gate. As I slid to the bottom, holding my head, St. Peter looked down and this is what he said. Woo! Oh, you're broken, busted, hurt near dead, feeling like a bull is dancing on your head. You got better to do than lay there and bleed. A little encouragement is all you need. So if you're old as Methuselah or just a young pup, get back in your saddle and cowboy up. Get back in your saddle and cowboy up. Bruce Huntington, I'm Tom Hiatt. Thank you so very much. Thank you to Jim and Bobby Jimbo. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's been stubbing cattle and dust devils and rainy weather and
Wet biscuits!
and I'm really needing to feel something warm and soft.